Today in the show, after signing Carlos Baleba, Manchester United moves for Alejandro Balde. Meanwhile, Arsenal signs a record-breaking deal with AL-HILAL for Gabriel Martinelli. Aston Villa will take Nicolas to replace the rebellious Ollie Watkins, along with a strange transfer of Liam Delap for $50 million. We talk about all this and much more right now. Manchester United officially completed the signing of 22-year-old Cameroon national team Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba. The total transfer package of the deal reaches €82 million. The 22-year-old midfielder signed a 5-year contract with the Manchester side through 2031, with an option to extend for an additional season. The player himself stated that the key factor in selecting the club was a personal conversation with head coach Michael Carrick, under whose guidance he seeks to reach the top level. Baleba is expected to make his debut against Ipswich Town at Old Trafford. With this transfer, Manchester United's total summer ledger crossed the €180 million mark as Michael Carrick fully completed a central midfield overhaul that previously saw the arrivals of Andre Santos from Chelsea and Yuri Tielemans from Aston Villa. However, the Manchester side is not halting work in the market. The primary top priority target for the final days of the deadline is signing a left-back due to chronic injuries to Luke Shaw. The main candidate for this position has emerged as 22-year-old Barcelona left-back Alejandro Balde. The player expressed a desire to leave the Catalan club after losing his starting spot under Hansi Flick, with his agent Jorge Mendes actively working on this option. Barcelona is open to letting their academy product leave for €45 million to register new signings, while Manchester United prepares a proposal in the €35 to €40 million range, working through the player's high salary as the primary hurdle to the transfer. In parallel, the Red Devils are surveying the market for strikers, though acquiring a new forward will become possible exclusively after an exit by Joshua Zirkzee, who attracts interest from Syria and Premier League clubs. Tottenham Hotspur also officially completed the signing of 22-year-old Brazilian Manchester City winger Savinho. The total financial package of the deal stands at exactly £85 million. The player has been successfully registered for Premier League fixtures, signed a 5-year contract through 2031, and stands ready to take the pitch in the EFL Cup tie against Charlton Athletic. Savinho himself stated following the signing, "Every time I came to play against Tottenham, I always told my representatives about this club. When my agent said they were interested in me, I was so happy. It is an amazing opportunity at a brilliant club with one of the best managers in the world." London head coach Roberto De Zerbi views the 22-year-old Brazilian as an elite-level dribbler capable of covering both attacking flanks and creating chances in tight spaces. In parallel, the Londoners enter the home stretch in signing 27-year-old forward Omar Marmoush. The Egyptian has already bid farewell to his teammates at Manchester City and received official clearance to fly out for a medical examination for Tottenham Hotspur. The deal is structured as a 1-year loan with a mandatory buyout for £50 million plus £10 million in performance add-ons, where $5 million acts as a fully guaranteed sum. The total package of the move reaches £60 million, with the striker signing a 4+1 contract. Any claims that the citizens opted for a loan to conceal a sell-on cut for Eintracht Frankfurt are complete fake news. The Germans hold zero sell-on clause, having received their £65 million guaranteed in a single installment during the initial sale. Meanwhile, a potential transfer for Cody Gakpo from Liverpool remains completely blocked. Even though Tottenham agreed personal terms with the player back in July and submitted a £60 million offer, Liverpool rejected the proposal. Merseysiders head coach Andoni Iraola and the club's sporting department flatly refused to release the 27-year-old Dutchman until a replacement is guaranteed. The primary top priority target for Iraola remains 23-year-old PSG winger Bradley Barcola, for whom the Parisians demand an astronomical £125 to £145 million. Due to financial focus on the mega deal for Barcola, Liverpool's negotiations for 22-year-old Brighton Gambian winger Yankuba Minte have cooled significantly over the last 24 hours. Management at the Reds is pooling all available budget toward the Frenchman's transfer and temporarily paused talks with Brighton, who flatly rejected a £60 million offer and demands at least 70. Minte himself agreed personal terms with the Merseysiders, sat out the Seagulls' latest match, and is pressing his club for a move to Anfield, yet the fate of his transfer currently sits on hold awaiting the outcome between Liverpool and PSG. Negotiations between Al-HILAL, Arsenal, and Aston Villa for the transfers of Gabriel Martinelli and Ollie Watkins have entered a decisive phase. The Saudi giant prepared record financial packages, while major squad shifts unfold in the camps of both English clubs. Regarding the transfer of 25-year-old Brazilian winger Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal and Al-HILAL practically agreed the final parameters of the deal. The Saudis agreed to pay €58 million as a fixed fee plus €8 million in add-ons. The total transfer package surpasses the €66 million mark, turning this outgoing deal into an absolute record in Arsenal's history, surpassing the transfers of Nicolas and Alexis Sanchez. The situation surrounding the Brazilian carries heavy irony. Not long ago, Martinelli flatly rejected a €45 million offer from Turkish side Galatasaray, with public statements made regarding a desire to perform strictly in Europe's top leagues. However, after Mikel Arteta signed Christos Tsolis for €40 million and left the Brazilian out of squad lists for the season's opening matches, while the Saudis presented a €20 million per year salary through 2030, the striker's stance vanished instantaneously. Management at the Gunners is actively pushing the player toward a move, as collecting such funds is critically necessary to comply with financial fair play following their own massive spending spree. No less dramatic events are unfolding around 30-year-old Aston Villa forward Ollie Watkins. The striker refused to extend his contract with the Birmingham side through 2030 and staged a strike, missing the Brighton match and refusing to train after the club rejected Al-Hilal's fourth proposal worth €53 million. Head coach Unai Emery pointedly declined to comment on the forward's behavior during his post-match press conference, directing journalists to his agent with a brief statement. "That is a question for him. I can only answer with silence." However, on Monday, Watkins returned to training and issued a public apology to his teammates for missing the match. Management at Aston Villa is still attempting to hold on to the player, but in parallel is working through alternatives in case the Saudis raise their offer to €60 million. Alongside Ollie Watkins' strike, management at Aston Villa initiated swift work on a replacement for the English forward. Unai Emery's top priority for the central striker position from the start was 25-year-old Chelsea Senegalese forward Nicolas Jackson. Emery personally insisted on this deal as an ideal fit, knowing the player's potential well from their shared time at Villarreal. Nevertheless, Aston Villa initially attempted to explore cheaper, proven alternative options, submitting a bid for 29-year-old Jean-Philippe Mateta around €25 million, which was instantly knocked back by Crystal Palace with a price tag over €40 million, alongside evaluating a signing for Raphael Leão. However, recognizing the lack of leverage in talks for the Frenchman and the absence of a dedicated positional profile in the Portuguese, the Birmingham side returned to Emery's initial plan. The Senegalese striker has long been out of the Blues' plans. He spent the 2025 to 2026 campaign on loan at Bayern, and upon returning was completely isolated from the first team by Xabi Alonso, training individually while awaiting a permanent sale. Chelsea flatly refuses further loans and insists on a permanent transfer. Realizing there are no compromise solutions on the market, Aston Villa has put forward a €70 million proposal to the Londoners. The London side is close to accepting the offer, with the clubs finalizing the payment schedule prior to medical testing. Of course, this transaction will materialize only if Ollie Watkins permanently exits the club. Beyond attack, Aston Villa is plugging a central defensive void left by Ezri Konsa's sale to Arsenal for €59 million, rejecting an option for Fikayo Tomori. Unai Emery placed his bet on 22-year-old Club Brugge defender Joel Ordóñez, having already agreed personal terms with him. The deal for the move of 23-year-old English forward Liam Delap from Chelsea to Nottingham Forest is fully reached. The Foresters will pay £45 million in fixed fees, with easily attainable add-ons pushing the overall transfer package to a record £50 million. For Nottingham Forest, this represents a second breaking of their transfer record within a single month, following the signing of defender Ousmane Diomande from Lisbon side Sporting for £35 million. The Englishman will sign a 5-year deal through 2031 and has passed his medical examination. Foresters head coach Oliver Glasner viewed the 23-year-old forward as an ideal fit for his 3-4-2-1 tactical layout. In Glasner's framework, Delap will execute a role similar to the one played by Jean-Philippe Mateta at Crystal Palace, a powerful center forward capable of opening up space for two attacking midfielders, winning physical duels, and spearheading rapid counterattacks. The transfer became possible following Taiwo Awoniyi's sale to Coventry City, with Delap set to compete for position at Nottingham Forest alongside Chris Wood and Igor Jesus. The paradox of the £50 million figure lies in the fact that over the entire previous Premier League season, Delap scored just 1 goal in 28 matches for Chelsea, hampered by injuries and squad rotation. Friction in London peaked when Chelsea stripped Delap of the number 9 shirt in favor of João Pedro, sent him to train separately, and excluded him from the squad list against Fulham. Despite this stumble in London, Glasner relied on the striker's impressive season at Ipswich Town, where he registered 12 goals and contended for Young Player of the Season honours. For the London club, this sale locks in over £15 million in net profit. Having acquired him last year from Ipswich Town for £30 million